What if we told you that the world changed the moment Donald Trump won the 2025 election, and not just for Americans, but for entire nations across the globe? What if, behind the headlines and controversy, a new world order was quietly taking shape, one where old alliances were reborn, trade routes redrawn, and global power recalibrated? Whether you're a supporter or a skeptic, the impact of Trump's second rise to the presidency cannot be ignored. In this video, we dive into 10 countries that have not just survived, but thrived since Trump returned to the White House. Some are allies who saw doors swing wide open. Others took advantage of shifting economics, trade policies, and global unrest. Buckle up, because this isn't just political theater, it's a geopolitical thriller playing out in real time. If you're passionate about world affairs, hidden power moves, and real data behind global shifts, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're pulling back the curtain, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Let's dive in. India has emerged as a strategic and economic winner following Donald Trump's 2025 re-election. Despite a 26% reciprocal U.S. tariff, India's limited export dependence on the U.S. and a strong domestic economy have cushioned the blow. As global firms diversify away from China, India has become a preferred alternative, attracting giants like Apple, Samsung, and Foxconn under its $25 billion production-linked incentive (PLI) schemes. Exports to the U.S. rose 9.03% in April 2025, reaching $38.49 billion. Trump's administration has actively supported U.S.-India military cooperation, with potential deals for advanced weapons systems like the F-35 fighter jet enhancing India's strategic position in Asia. Furthermore, both countries aim to double bilateral trade to $500 billion by 2030, focusing on pharmaceuticals, AI, and semiconductors. While restrictive immigration and remittance policies pose challenges, India's ability to attract investment and deepen trade ties with the U.S. signals a strong net benefit under Trump's renewed term. Saudi Arabia has enjoyed renewed strategic and economic favor under Trump's 2025 return. A staunch ally of the kingdom, Trump resumed expansive arms sales, approving $14 billion in defense contracts, including air defense systems and fighter jets. The U.S. administration has also supported Saudi Arabia's regional policies, including containment of Iranian influence, giving Riyadh greater geopolitical leverage. Trump's friendly oil diplomacy and reduced pressure on OPEC pricing policies have allowed Saudi Arabia to maintain oil revenues, crucial for funding its Vision 2030 diversification agenda. U.S. investments in NEOM, the futuristic megacity project, increased by 20% in early 2025, attracting tech and infrastructure firms. By reversing course on previous human rights pressure, Trump has restored bilateral stability, encouraging global investors to return. Together, these shifts have accelerated Saudi economic transformation and reaffirmed its key role in Middle East politics without U.S. conditionality, making it one of the administration's biggest beneficiaries. Israel's strategic position was further reinforced following Trump's 2025 election victory. Continuing his pro-Israel policies from his first term, Trump reaffirmed U.S. recognition of Jerusalem as the capital and upheld Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. More significantly, he expanded the Abraham Accords, securing normalization talks between Israel and additional Arab states, including Mauritania and Oman. U.S. military aid increased by 12%, and new defense agreements provided Israel with upgraded missile defense systems and joint cybersecurity capabilities. American venture capital in Israeli tech surged 18% in the first half of 2025, benefiting AI, cybersecurity, and biotech startups. Trump's administration also pushed for international forums to legitimize Israel's regional integration, diffusing diplomatic isolation. As Washington scaled back pressure regarding the Palestinian question, Israel enjoyed greater maneuverability in domestic and security policy. Overall, Trump's presidency has aligned with Israel's strategic goals, securing its defense edge and economic growth in a volatile region. Poland has benefited significantly from Trump's 2025 return, particularly through enhanced NATO collaboration and energy security. Reaffirming his tough stance on Russia, Trump authorized the permanent deployment of 8,000 U.S. troops in Poland, doubling the previous presence and boosting regional deterrence. This move reassured Warsaw of American commitment despite broader NATO skepticism. Simultaneously, Poland signed a new LNG agreement with the U.S. worth $6 billion to reduce dependence on Russian gas. Trump's support for Poland's conservative leadership fostered stronger ideological alignment, translating into deeper military-industrial cooperation and infrastructure development. U.S. firms have also increased investment in Polish tech parks and logistics hubs by 15%, driven by nearshoring trends. While Trump remains critical of broader EU policies, bilateral U.S.-Poland relations have flourished, positioning Poland as America's primary partner in Eastern Europe. As a frontline NATO member with rising economic and security relevance, Poland has capitalized smartly on Trump's reoriented foreign agenda. Brazil has reaped substantial benefits from Trump's second term through stronger agricultural trade, energy deals, and ideological alignment. Trump lifted several import restrictions on Brazilian soy, beef, and ethanol, leading to a 22% rise in Brazilian agricultural exports to the U.S. in Q1 2025. This shift helped Brazil fill market gaps left by China and others amid shifting global supply chains. Trump's administration also pushed for a U.S.-Brazil energy partnership, enabling Brazil to secure $4 billion in U.S. investment in offshore oil and renewable infrastructure. Politically, the Trump-Bolsonaro alignment resumed, with support for conservative governance in Latin America, reducing pressure on environmental compliance in the Amazon. While environmental concerns persist, relaxed enforcement under Trump has helped Brazilian exporters gain an edge. Combined with increased security cooperation and technology transfers, Brazil has strengthened its economic position and regional influence, benefiting directly from Trump's deregulatory and bilateral engagement policies in Latin America. Hey, if you've made it this far into the video, you're clearly someone who cares about the bigger picture, and we want to hear from you. What do you think about how these countries have capitalized on Trump's return? Were there any surprises? Do you think some nations have benefited more than the ones we covered? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We read every single one and love engaging with your insights. And while you're at it, hit that like button if you're enjoying the content so far. It helps more people discover these in-depth stories. Got a topic you'd like us to cover next? Maybe a deep dive into the losers of the 2025 election or how Trump's return is reshaping global institutions? Let us know. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. We're just getting started. The UAE has expanded its influence and economic clout with Trump back in office. In 2025, Trump pushed for deepening the Abraham Accords, accelerating Emirati normalization with more countries, and boosting foreign direct investment. U.S. defense contracts surged, with the UAE purchasing $10 billion in advanced drones and air defense systems to counter regional threats. American investments in Emirati tech, space, and green energy sectors rose 21%, aligning with the UAE's 2030 diversification plan. Trump also supported a UAE-led Red Sea maritime initiative, increasing its control over key shipping lanes and raising its geopolitical importance. Reduced U.S. scrutiny on internal governance and civil liberties restored confidence among Gulf investors. Additionally, joint U.S.-UAE infrastructure initiatives in Africa received high-level backing, allowing the UAE to further project its economic power. With Trump's transactional diplomacy favoring stability and economic mutualism, the UAE has thrived as a business and security hub under his second presidency. Vietnam's strategic and economic fortunes have continued to rise under Trump's second term as the U.S. China rivalry further redirected manufacturing and trade flows toward Southeast Asia. American firms, wary of Chinese tariffs and compliance hurdles, shifted operations to Vietnam, resulting in a 17% increase in U.S. imports from the country during early 2025. Vietnam's textile, electronics, and semiconductors industries have seen significant capital inflows from U.S. investors. Additionally, Trump's administration upgraded Vietnam's trade status, granting new quotas and relaxing certain compliance rules to facilitate bilateral commerce. U.S.-Vietnam defense cooperation also expanded, with naval ship visits and technology transfers as part of Indo-Pacific containment strategies. Infrastructure investment via U.S. public-private partnerships helped modernize ports and logistics hubs in Da Nang and Ho Chi Minh City. With Trump prioritizing counter-China alliances and supply chain reconfiguration, Vietnam's strategic value and economic performance have been significantly amplified in this new geopolitical landscape. Despite Trump's historically contentious tone on immigration, Mexico has emerged with unexpected gains in 2025 due to economic pragmatism. Trump strengthened the USMCA trade framework, ensuring continued access to the U.S. market for Mexican goods. Amid Washington's push to nearshore manufacturing away from China, Mexico saw a 14% uptick in U.S. corporate investment in automotive and electronics plants across northern states like Nuevo León and Chihuahua. Cross-border trade hit a record high of $780 billion in 2025's first half. The Trump administration also increased cooperation on drug cartel interdiction, investing in surveillance tech and intelligence sharing, which bolstered internal security efforts. Additionally, Trump deferred a blanket tariff on Mexican exports in exchange for strict border controls, keeping trade stable. While immigration tensions persist, economic interdependence has grown stronger, with Mexico benefiting directly from American firms' regional shift. Mexico's industrial expansion and export boom are tightly linked to Trump-era economic policy. Taiwan has significantly benefited from Trump's 2025 return through enhanced security and economic integration with the U.S. Responding to growing tensions with China, the Trump administration expanded arms sales by $8 billion, including air defense and anti-ship missile systems. This solidified Taiwan's asymmetric warfare capabilities. Trump also reaffirmed U.S. naval patrols through the Taiwan Strait, increasing military cooperation and public diplomatic support. Economically, Taiwan's semiconductor industry saw fresh U.S. subsidies and partnership deals, with companies like TSMC expanding their Arizona operations while increasing exports back to the U.S. Trump advocated for Taiwan's observer status at international bodies like WHO and ICAO, enhancing its global visibility. Bilateral trade rose 13% year-over-year, with new collaborations in biotech and AI. Trump's hawkish China policy and pro-Taiwan rhetoric have translated into tangible gains, bolstering Taiwan's global status and economic security amid escalating regional power competition. The United Kingdom has regained strategic and economic momentum under Trump's 2025 presidency, primarily through fast-tracked bilateral trade talks. Post-Brexit, Trump prioritized the UK as a key ally, reviving negotiations on a US-UK free trade agreement. By mid-2025, tariffs were reduced on major British exports like pharmaceuticals and financial services, contributing to a 10% increase in UK exports to the US. The Trump administration also expanded joint cybersecurity initiatives, helping safeguard critical UK infrastructure. On defense, U.S. military aid and intelligence sharing were deepened, with joint operations in the Indo-Pacific and counter-terrorism efforts in Africa. Trump's supportive stance toward UK sovereignty in global forums, including the UN and WTO, emboldened British diplomacy. Simultaneously, American investment in London's fintech and biotech sectors surged 15%, reinforcing the UK's global financial leadership. In sum, Trump's transactional and Anglophile diplomacy has elevated the UK's economic prospects and international standing during a post-EU transition phase. And there you have it. 10 countries that, whether by strategy, luck, or long-standing alliances, have gained the most from Donald Trump's 2025 return to the presidency. From defense deals to trade windfalls, from geopolitical leverage to economic booms, the ripple effects are impossible to ignore. The world is changing fast, and power is shifting in real time. If you found this video thought-provoking or learned something new, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's just as curious about world affairs as you are. We have plenty more on the way, from global power plays to economic upheavals, and we'd love to have you along for the journey. Until next time, stay sharp, stay informed, and stay curious.